All right, guys. So happy Thursday or Friday. If you are in my white day block, so 7 and 8 block, I'm not here today, obviously, because I'm gone with soccer on Friday. Just a couple of quick things. Obviously, today's a very important lesson because it's going to be our first reading test that we're doing on the EOC at least. So just a couple of quick things. As always, the first thing is mark yourselves present. Just try to guess which letter it is. Okay, so the question here is there's only one letter that doesn't appear in any US state name. You don't need to get it right. Okay, just try to guess, and you'll be marked present for today. Then lesson 8, our actual PowerPoint. Okay, that's going to be the second item here, and I'm going to go ahead and go over it. So we're gonna go over two passages today, and then you'll have a number of questions over them. Today, you'll definitely need to use part of your asynchronous time to be able to finish this if you're going to use the strategy that I'm going to talk about in a second. Don't forget that the reading portion of the EOC is worth 50%. Okay, this is the difference between passing and failing. I mean, it's as straightforward as it can get right over here. Regarding the strategies that I like to use and that my students have used, I would follow these 3 steps. So the first step is this. So read the questions first and highlight the keywords and paragraph numbers. Do not look at the 4 answer choices at this point. Okay, I'll explain why in a second. Then step 2, go to the passage and write the question number and the keyword or words next to the appropriate paragraph. And the final step, read the passage and focus on the overall message of the text and pay attention to your notes in the margin. You might be able to answer the question and then look at the 4 answer choices later. So here's what it will look like, okay? So when you go to lesson 8, obviously go ahead and open the actual passage, right, with the questions. So that's going to be titled Fiction Part 1, and then the questions, okay? So that's going to be where we're going to be able to read the 2 passages that we have. You'll have a series of questions that will start off with question number 39, and then you'll have your second passage, as you can see over here, and you'll have a number of questions over there, and that's it. And then the questions are going to be right here, right, or at least we're going to respond to them. Okay, so you'll have your questions right here, your 4 answer choices. You'll have a series of questions for you guys to answer. Okay, so let's start off with the following thing. Okay, so here's the strategy and how I would do it if I were taking the test. So the first thing that I would do is I would go ahead and go to the actual question, the first question, which is question number 39. So which word from the selection means supporting or recommending? Okay, I'm going to go ahead and skip this one just because in the actual question, it's not giving us a paragraph number. Okay, so let's move on to the next one, number 40. So what evidence does the author provide to support the claims he makes in paragraphs 5 through 7? So the key words, right, that's what we need to do, right? This is one of our strategies. So what evidence does the author provide to support the claims he makes in paragraphs 5 through 7? So what I would do, we know that it's question number 40, and we need to go to paragraphs 5 through 7. So 5 through 7, right here. So what I would do is I would put this in a square box, okay, 5 through 7, and I would write down 40 in the margin, okay, 40 in the margin, so I know that it's question 40. And then I would write down the keywords, and the keywords are evidence the author provides to support the claim. So that's going to be a lot, but it's going to be better so that way when you're reading the actual passage for the first time, you have a purpose as you're reading it, right? You know what you're looking for when you get to paragraphs 5 through 7. You know what you're going to be looking for, right? Which is to see what the claims are. I'm going to move on to the next one. And you kind of keep reading through these first. Don't look at the answer choices yet. Okay, but 41. Why is a cartoon an effective accompaniment to the selection? And again, you go to the actual cartoon right here, and you write down number 41. That way you'll know that that's going to be question 41. That's where we're going to get the answer from. And you keep scrolling through the questions. 42, we know that we're going to get that answer from paragraph 11. So in paragraph 11, the author uses personification to show that the computer, and then blah, blah, blah. Don't read the answer choices yet. So now we're going to go to paragraph 11. We're going to write down 42 in the margin, and we're also going to write down personification computer. So as you're reading this, you're going to know what you're going to try to answer. So then let's say that you already know, once you're reading this, you already know what the answer is to that question. You try to answer it by yourself, and then you go to the answer choices and you see if your answer is one of these. If it is, then there's no second guessing yourself. That's going to be your answer. You keep doing that, the same thing for all the questions, okay, that you have, and even for the second passage. And then you go, once you're done with that, once you're done annotating, then you go ahead and actually start reading the entire passage. And as you're coming across your own notes in the margin, then you start answering those questions. And then later, then you go to your answer choices, and then you try to answer them. In this case, you're going to go, let's say 39, right? That's going to be your first question. And you're going to say it's, I'm just making it up, okay? Let's say it's B. Fantastic. We're going to move on to number 2. I had already answered, or number 40 in this case. I already answered it myself. I know it's, again, I'm making it up. I know it's F. So then I'm going to pick F, and so on and so forth, right? So that way, the reason for using the strategy is that, just like I said earlier, when you're actually reading the passage, you know which parts of the text you need to pay a lot more attention to, and you're setting that purpose. Okay, you're not just reading for the sake of reading. You're reading knowing that you need to answer certain questions at specific points of this text. Okay, so for my White Day students, 7th and 8th block, I'll go into a lot more detail when I'm here next week, because we'll get, in 2 weeks' time, because we'll get to do a second lesson regarding fiction. But please let me know, obviously, if you guys have any questions, and hopefully you'll find this strategy that a number of students have used in the past really useful. Anyway, have a wonderful weekend, and as always, let me know if you have any questions.